Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A partly cloudy to mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, along with Jonathan Dent. And you got your warm clothes on today, Jonathan?
Got several layers going. Oh, man.
I tell you never know here in the control room what the temperature is going to be. Mother Nature, though, was pretty predictable. We were talking about it all last week, that Sunday night was going to be cold. And that's exactly what happened. We not only had traces of frost, we had a whole lot of frost out there. A lot of lawns were pure white, and, of course, the rooftops as well. And some folks had to dig out the scrapers a little bit earlier this morning, too.
I certainly did.
Yeah. So right now, what are we looking at?
Well, right now out at the airport, partly sunny skies, 42 degrees. Downtown Midland's looking at 43. Here at Radio Center, we're the warmest, 44 degrees, if you can call that warm right now. Not much in terms of wind. Southwest wind at 3 miles per hour right now.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see it coming out of the southwest because we'd been getting that northwest, north, and northeast winds. And even yesterday morning, with all the clouds around it, it felt pretty cold. And it was chilly. Temperatures were down in the 30s overnight on Saturday night. But last night we did see some very cold temperatures for this time of the year. We should be what's normal, right around 40. We saw a whole lot of 20s. And I think Cadillac, Clare overnight was 22.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there were a couple other readings around the state that were in that low 20 range, but that was, I think, the coldest. What was kind of odd is the further north you got, actually the warmer it got, other than inland like Clare. Cadillac, I think, was right around 24, 25 degrees.
Yeah, Cadillac's the only one. I was just looking. Cadillac's the only one that hasn't broken 40 yet this morning.
Yeah, they got a deep hole to dig out of. But things are really going to turn around. We're going to see a big surge in our temperatures as we go through the remainder of the day today. We should work our way up to about 53. That's still below normal for this time of the year. We should be at 57. But again, quite a move from what we saw earlier this morning. We did see Midland drop down to right around 28, so that was cold enough. West Branch was at 26. Bay City at the freezing mark. We did see Frankenmuth drop down to 29 for a low, and Vassar dropped down to 27. Back 40 at Richville. I saw 30 on the thermometer there, but again, you don't have to go too far around the corner, and you saw temperatures bouncing around right around the freezing mark, if not a little bit colder. This is the chilliest that we're going to be for a while. We're looking for a high, as I said, of 53. Clouds are going to be moving in, and there will be a chance of a spotty shower, very isolated, widely scattered in the central part of the lower peninsula, more likely on the west side of central Michigan. But then northern Michigan is going to pick up some precipitation. We do have a front that's running from southwest to northeast, and right now that front is working its way into the upper peninsula from all the way down into Colorado. There's a low that's generating that, but there's going to be another low on that track as we go through the next few days. So we're going to be under the influence of two low-pressure systems, which are going to keep us on the warm side. We're looking for low tonight of only 48. Again, a widely scattered shower around the Great Lakes Bay area. The best chance precipitation for the next few days is going to be in northern Michigan and the north central part of the central part of the lower peninsula. Then tomorrow, we'll see some widely scattered showers around, but I think, again, the best chance is going to be in northern Michigan, 71 for a high tomorrow, 63 for a low tomorrow night. So what a difference that's going to be. Low pressure system over southern Minnesota working its way into the upper peninsula tomorrow. We are going to see some sun around here and obviously some mild temperatures. We'll have a southwest wind gusting up to 25 miles per hour tomorrow. Tomorrow night, the clouds will get a little bit closer. The shower activity will get a little bit closer, but still, coverage area in the Great Lakes Bay region is not going to be all that great tomorrow night. We'll have a south breeze about 10 to 20 miles per hour. So again, there is going to be the chance, but I think if that chance does come around, it'll be later in the day or the evening tomorrow night. Then during the day on Wednesday, and it looks like a real good chance all day Thursday of seeing rain shower activity. Wednesday's high will be 65. Thursday's high will move back up into that 70-degree range. And the shower activity on Wednesday night and Thursday night will be accompanied by low temperatures of 63 both nights there. Then on Friday, we'll still have a chance of some showers. We'll still be quite a bit above average. Upper 60s for a high on Friday, mid 40s for a low on Friday night. Yeah. Can you believe this? The Red River Valley, Minnesota, Dakotas in there, snow on Friday.
Really?
Measurable amount of snow on Friday.
Wow.
There.
They can keep it.
Yeah, I was just going to say they can keep it. They're not really looking forward to it either, but they're going to get it. Again, we're getting pretty close to the end of the month, so especially in that northern plains area, stuff like that does happen this time of the year. Saturday and Sunday, there will be clouds. There will be chances of showers around. Low 50s on Saturday, 50 degrees for a high on Sunday. So it looks as though if you want to get any work done over the weekend, the coming weekend, you're going to be dodging some raindrops all the way through that period of time. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, who do we have, Jonathan?
We'll be talking with Gary Kaufman from Star of the West, kicking off our market report today. Then Doug Klein from Oppenheimer comes along. All of that's ahead, but first, the weather report today brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Predictability in farming is next to impossible until now. Pivot Bio provides a more reliable source, predictable of nitrogen source. Pivot Bio delivers nitrogen directly to the plant throughout the growing season. Because it adheres directly to the root, Pivot Bio doesn't wash away in the rain. Plant more predictability next season with Pivot Bio. Find out more by contacting Don Morris, 989-239-2791, or Allie Morris, 989-780-3770. And get that Pivot Bio product on your operation for next year. We say good morning to Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. And Gary, you got a car garage or don't you?
Oh, definitely got a car garage. No scraping for this guy this morning.
Hey, there you go. I bet though there are a few neighbors that were.
Oh, yeah. Once in a while, yeah, it pays to have a garage, I guess. So.
It sure does. Well, it pays to have a garage and you don't have it full of other stuff, so you can park your car in it.
Well, Lord knows we've been there before. So.
Yes, we have. Well, starting off the week, what are we looking at right now on the markets, Gary?
Yeah, right now we got wheat on the positive, Terry, corn and beans on the negative, but currently we have cash wheat up 7 at $5.53 on the white, $4.83 on the red. New crop for next year, let's call it up 5 at $6.40 on the white, $5.65 on the red. Cash and current crop corn is down 3 at $4.22, and cash and current crop soybeans down a nickel at 12.17. Terry.
Any particular reason why the wheat is doing what it's doing? Because everything else seems to be down a little bit.
Yeah, it's there's Minneapolis seems to be pushing the Chicago up. That Minneapolis is up about 12 to 15 cents, and they believe maybe some red winter wheat was booked this morning, but there's been no confirmation. But in the Minneapolis futures are long or futures, so there's a lot of technical buying going on here this morning in the wheat arena. Even though the fact that both Argentina and Australia received some much needed rain relief over the weekend, we seem to be on a technical push here in the wheat arena. But I always tell the growers, if we get these bumps up, last week for the week, we were on the positive for all the grains. Wheat was up about 6, corn a couple, and beans 22. But beans are kind of taking it in the chin here this morning a little bit, as well as corn. And basically this afternoon we're going to see crop progress probably moving right along for corn and beans, and that's giving us a little bit of bearish tone along with some moisture in the South America that's going on as well. That's been much needed down there. So.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure there, huh?
Yeah, correct.
Right. Gary, have a good one.
I will. You do the same. Thanks, Terry.
You bet. Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth. Doug Klein joining us, but first.
Market report today brought to you by Thumb Bank and Trust. They've been making agricultural loans since 1895. Farming today continues to offer challenges that are very demanding, and Thumb Bank and Trust helps you stay up to date on industry trends and the trends of your operation. Thumb Bank and Trust, now having 13 locations throughout the Thumb and in the Great Lakes Bay region. Thumb Bank and Trust, where relationships are built on trust. Also by Schaefer and Beerline. The seasons are changing sometimes daily here in Michigan, but the new Ram truck inventory is coming in at Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth. 2023 HDs are still coming in, and the 2024 1500s are arriving. So if you're in the market for a new Ram 1500, a Ram heavy-duty pickup, a ProMaster van, or a Ram commercial truck, and you want to buy with confidence from a Business Link dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is, well, it's time to go to Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, where family and service sells cars. We say good morning to Doug Klein from Oppenheimer. Doug, how are we doing today?
Well, it's a little bit mixed today. I don't know. As always, I guess, right? Always something to look at on the positive and negative. But the 10-year Treasury is still over 5%. That's hurting us. Chevron and Hess are merging. So Chevron's buying out Hess, $53 billion deal. So that's the second big oil merger in the last month or so. I don't know if that's good for the consumer or bad, but I'm guessing it's not good. I don't know.
Usually that's the way mergers work. Ultimately,
but I don't know. Anyway, Apple is buying out or investing $1 billion a year in generative artificial intelligence. So that kind of tells you how much money is to be made in that arena. So, again, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I would say be careful out there because you're the target of all that AI that they're developing. So
maybe they're investing Bitcoin in that.
I'm sure they are
go.
probably buying Bitcoin because it's over 30,000, and that seems to be one of the few, if you want to call it, bright spots in the investing world. So a big fertilizer company, chemical company, FMC. It's not a widely known name, but they hit a 6-year low today. So their business is a little bit on the shaky side too. So anyway, here's your numbers. December corn 492 and a quarter, down 3 and a quarter. The March corn 506, down 3. November soybeans 1295 and a quarter, down 7. March soybeans 1326 and 3/4, down 5.5. December wheat 592 and a half, up 6.5, and March wheat is 619 and a quarter, up 5 3/4. Well, this is a little bit on the bright side. Crude oil is 86.69, down $1.39. Heating oil is 305.88, down 1 1/4 cents. Gasoline is 233.20, that's down 2.33 cents. And I think I picked it up for about 307 without using any of my discounts. So that wasn't horrible, but still the wholesale price probably justifies about 298 or so. So anyway, we're close. Natural gas at 3.53.9. That's up 3 cents. So over to currencies, Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.3684 at the border. That is down 32 ticks. The dollar buys 149.74 yen. That's down 10 ticks. The euro is at 106.44, up 51 ticks. The dollar is at 105.77, down 39 ticks. Gold is at 1988.80, down $5.60. Silver is 23.26, down 24 cents. And platinum's at 903.50. That's up $1.70.
You have a good one, Doug. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yep, you too.
All righty. Doug Klein at Oppenheimer. Standing by, who do we have, Jonathan?
Well, we'll be heading over to Bay Landscaping and Garden Center and talking with Jerry Samolsky right after this.
Like you, we never settle. There's more sugar, in fact, better sugar in every seed we sell. For more than a century, we put innovation to work in the service of growers who plant Crystal brand sugar beet seed. With varieties developed especially for your growing area, you can be confident your success is always our top priority. This season, and for seasons to come, choose a seed partner who shares your priorities.
The beauty of a family farm is that everyone pitches in to get things done. There is nothing like the smell of a sugar beet field during harvest or a meal served off the tailgate of a pickup. This is Peter Maxwell, your ACH Seeds representative, with a friendly reminder to keep safety a top priority this season. Please encourage your crews to be cautious with field work and drive safely as they deliver this crop. You've built an impressive legacy, one that is certainly worth protecting. Thanks again for your continued business.
ACH Seeds, growing with you.
Along with us, Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Boy, we had a nice day yesterday to get some work done, Jerry. I saw a lot of lawnmowers going.
Yeah, we did, Terry, and I was fortunate enough to get out and get some stuff done myself. I just want to reiterate, we talked last week about it, but I think it's really, really important. When we have some better weather, before we put our gardens to bed, let's make sure we've got them well weeded. Again, if you skim some weeds off or cut the tops off while you're cutting your perennials back, you'll just end up thinking, okay, I've got it all set, we're ready to go. But those roots come up and they resprout again next year. So we want to be sure you get all the weeds done. Weed your bed before you cut those perennials back, because you can usually see them. They're, which one is not like the other, right? So cut them off or pull them out and then cut your perennials back so you'll have a much better garden next year, less weeding, start off in the right leg.
That sounds like a winner to me. Jerry, take care. We'll talk to you again.
Yes, sir.
All right. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Up next, we've got Vic Hupfer with Freeland Bean. Jonathan?
Yes, indeed. Vic, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Vic, a lot of stuff has been done over the last few days, given the weather conditions, but we are seeing some progress on crops that have really been lagging behind, haven't we?
Yeah. Yes, we have. Soybeans we're getting, they're pretty well done now, getting to where they're all pretty dead ripe. There's some late planted ones that are probably not going to be as far along. They're going to need a little bit more time. Edible beans, we're getting them off pretty good. I don't think there's a terrible amount left to do from the customers that we've been talking to and working with. A lot of them are getting off the field and getting hauled in. We're dealing with some wet ones that we have to deal with, but we're just glad to get them in, get them dried, and get that crop put to bed before it gets much later than it is. Still have a few customers looking at trying to get some wheat planted. There's a number of people I've talked to that said they'd like to get more wheat planted, and I think over the next couple of days we'll probably try to do some of that. Looks like weather next week could be a little bit better. I think we'll probably even see a few guys plant some wheat even into that week if we can, if the weather gets dry enough. A lot of it depends on how much rain we get here. We are seeing a few issues in the corn crop. I'm sure you're probably aware of this and probably heard some news about it. Vomitoxin is present pretty much widespread across Michigan and corn crop. All the elevators are starting to test for it now, just because of what we're seeing. We're hoping that the levels aren't too bad to where we can have a saleable crop and usable crop. Unfortunately, with some of the corn coming off the field wetter, we're not going to be able to segregate like we like to make sure that we're getting the crop put away the way we would. But it's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to make some issues even for what we've talked to at our local feed mill, making sure we can find good quality corn to use at our feed mill, because some of these animals, like hogs, don't tolerate much over 2 parts per million of vomitoxin. So you have some things you got to be concerned a little bit about when you're dealing with a corn crop like this.
Well, I guess so, Vic. And of course, you're available for any questions that anybody would have.
Yes, I am. If anybody has questions, fertilizer, lime, I'm always available. So
fantastic, Vic. Always good to talk. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Terry.
You bet. Vic Hupfer with Freeland Bean and Grain. Jonathan, up next.
We're going to talk with Eric Sawatsky from Yo and Yo Accounting. Eric, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great.
Hey, Eric, let's talk a little bit about buying some land for farm or business.
Yeah, Terry, just wanted to talk briefly because I get a lot of questions this time of year. There's a parcel of land that came up for sale. How much of that is deductible when we buy that? A lot of it really depends on the land. So just a piece of land, whether it's farmland or really any piece of real estate, just the land itself is not deductible. So if that land, that's all it is just pure land. The purchase price is just a cost that you have to hold until the land is sold someday. But then we need to take a look at what else is on the property that may be deductible. So if there's fencing or a parking lot, something like that, we'll be able to break out part of the purchase price and deduct that over time. Same thing with any outbuildings or commercial residential buildings on the property. Those we would allocate part of the price and be able to deduct it over time. And then just in the land itself, we can look at the value of the tile that exists in the land, allocate a portion of the purchase price to that. If there's timber on the land that is good for harvesting and using as lumber, that can be segregated as well in the purchase price. And I've even had some farmers go as far as getting a study done on the land to determine the level of various minerals in the ground. And the IRS does allow even for that to be pulled out of the purchase price and deducted over a period of time. So a lot of different things we're going to need to look at when you're looking at a purchase of land and what we can deduct.
Boy, I guess so. Eric, you take care. Have a great day, okay?
You too.
I will. Eric Sawatsky with Yo and Yo Accounting. Jonathan, let's talk a little bit about cider, okay?
Let's do that. Let's head over to Sean Coughlin with Baines Apple Valley. Sean, how are we doing today?
Happy Monday, fellas.
Yeah, happy Monday to you. We'll be even happier after we stop by your hard cider tap room.
Well, I'm driving in God's country today. I've stopped at Be Well in Bel Air. Now I'm up in Leelanau County, and it's special to us because of the relationships we have with these different cideries that use these wonderful heirloom apples. I'm eating a Spitzenberg as I'm driving to my next Verterra up in Northport to just bring all this product back to our store so that we can offer the best ciders in the state to our customers. And Terry, it's wonderful stuff.
Wow, that is really neat. And again, it's Michigan apple, right?
It's Michigan apple to its finest, and these ciders that we provide at our store, all Michigan-based. Our son takes our hard cider every once in a while and has it made by a cider specialist. And people have there's a certain amount of people out there that just love ciders over any other alcohol, and that's why we love to have our tap room, and it's been a great fall so far. And these apples, boy, they really can turn into a great cider. I'll tell you.
We'll look forward to stopping by and sampling some of it. Sean, thanks a lot for
you
sharing. Drive careful, okay?
Thank you, buddy. Take care.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Sean Coughlin with Baines Apple Valley. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
I think we could handle that. Lots of things going on. Of course, they alluded to it. All of our experts, the crop progress report coming out a little bit later on this afternoon. And hopefully you are able to get your crops off too safely. And again, I can't emphasize enough, be very, very safe out there. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kathan. Thousands more auto workers went on strike this morning. Jeff Gilbert has details from Detroit affiliate WWJ.
By taking out 6,800 workers at Stellantis Sterling Heights Assembly Plant, the UAW is going after the company's most profitable products, Ram pickups. This is the first plant taken down in nearly 2 weeks. Back then, the union hit Ford's profitable Kentucky truck plant. This now puts more than 40,000 UAW members on strike.
An Alaska Airlines flight last night from Seattle to San Francisco was diverted to Portland, Oregon after a pilot in a jump seat, quote, tried to shut the engines down and crash the airplane.
We've got the guy that tried to shut the engines down out of the cockpit. He doesn't sound like he's causing any issue in the back right now. I think he's the dude.
That's audio from Live ATC. Alaska Airlines says no weapons were involved. Overseas, an Israeli commando says he's ready if ground troops are ordered into Gaza.
War means loss. We will do all we can to protect our country.
The U.S. has urged a delay in any major ground action to allow time for efforts to free hostages held by Hamas. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb reports there's been no let-up from the air.
Israel's strikes continue across Gaza. And while desperately needed aid started to trickle in, the United Nations estimates the Palestinian territory needs at least 100 trucks a day to meet the most basic needs. In the north, the Israeli military has again told residents to evacuate ahead of its looming ground invasion. But as Israel continues to pound targets across Gaza, nowhere, it seems, is safe.
In Washington, CBS's Scott McFarlane reports on another week where House Republicans will look to pick a speaker.
There are 9 new candidates to be the next Speaker of the House, all of them men, 7 of them members of the Conservative Republican Study Committee, and all but 2 voted to decertify the 2020 elections. One of the candidates, Tom Emmer of Minnesota, is endorsed by Kevin McCarthy, but